map there affirmed what we said before on the desk, that pretty much all of the Dobry players need to find a pretty high level of play to have an impact on Navi with the way Navi are looking right now. And I was actually going to try and get you guys to expand on the point that you just finished on, which is they really need to take advantage of Navi on the CT side. As we know, Navi are not the strongest CT side on Cobble, and so they need to either win the knife round and get onto that T side straight away and just try and get as many rounds in, or if they unfortunately start on the CT side, they need to somehow... How can they defend against the T side of Navi on Cobble?
I mean, well, to put it this way, I mean, in general, I feel like teams should pay more attention to the drop room. That's the key, in my opinion, of either bomb site, basically, and I think that's where a lot of CT sides lack synergy on how to play off of one another. I can't really think of many examples of teams that are really good at holding that part of the map. You know, it's a lot about you usually give it away, but then the question is on the CT side, what is the plan once the T side actually manages to get hold of that area of the map? Usually that's when it becomes really hard.
I'll get you guys to expand on that a bit in a second, like maybe the best way to hold that position. But first, we've got an interview with Starix.
Вчера мы играли во второй половине дня, и там мешало, конечно, солнце. Мы придумали там кепки одели, там вроде как более-менее была нормальная игра. Но мы уже один раз сыграли, нам этого было достаточно, чтобы понять, что противник действительно сильный. Я уверен, что сегодня будет у нас другая игра, чем мы показали в первый день турнира, что мы будем по-другому настроены, и все ребята понимают важность этого турнира, и, точнее, не турнира, а игры. И не думаю, что мы будем допускать те же ошибки. Ребят, спасибо, что вы за нас болеете, что вы пришли, нас поддерживаете. Мы все вас видим, как вы за нас болеете. Нам очень приятно, что вы поддерживаете нас.
Navi's greatest enemy so far, the sun. Solution, of course, peaked caps.
I think that's the biggest enemy of any heavy computer user.
Yeah. Glare on the screen, sun in the eyes. Anyway, going back to the point that we were talking about before, can you let me know what you think the best way is to hold that and the role of the person holding drop?
The problem with the side playing drop is that you have to sacrifice from other parts of the map if you want to put a lot of emphasis on that part of the map. Basically, that makes vulnerable the B plateau and also the A site, because you have to kind of choose in between what you want to do. So basically, I guess if you want to put a heavy focus on it, you want to have one player in connector in a little window into drop, and then you'll have a game plan of what to do once the opponents start throwing their grenades in there. Maybe Molotoving right under the drop before they come through. Have a certain flashes you throw in there, and then have an agreement on, okay, I'll take the initial peek, and then you'll come in and try to sandwich them, you know, so that they don't get an opportunity to trade off that well. Instead, the CT's having the opportunity to trade off better. But what that means, like I said, is that you're going to either sacrifice a player from the A bomb side, leaving just one player there, or you're going to have less emphasis on that B long area, which can be a massive issue. And that's what that means, is then you need to have another plan on basically, are you just going to give out that B bomb side totally? Do you have a good way of how to retake the bomb side? And then it comes to preserving all their grenades, having all enough flashes, Molotov. So it's like a continuous chain of questions of having to answer, basically.
And I guess the easiest way to put it is that there is no exact science to how to actually defend that drop room. We've seen various teams try different things and you know, having limited success and that type of thing. Actually, one of the coolest setups that we've seen recently probably came out of Tyloo, in my opinion, because they had a very different take on how to play that, because they pretty much give it up completely and just solely base everything on extreme precision in terms of cooperating with each other as a team, but with the set up crossbars that they have on their CT sides, which is very unique and something we haven't really seen other teams do. But you know, teams are still figuring it out. I think it's probably one of the harder spots, just in general in Counter-Strike, to actually hold off with success at this point without having to either throw away all of your utilities instantly, which is obviously going to leave you vulnerable at a later stage, or you know, potentially committing too heavily to actually, you know, constantly have those peaks in, and you know, the risk of actually dying without getting anything in return for it.
Going on from talking about the specific tactics, maybe we can talk in general terms about the meta in Counter-Strike and how that develops over time, and why the meta in general, whatever, works the way it does. So, for instance, if you're not aware, it just means the behind-the-scenes sort of rules or methods to which most people kind of comply and play the game.
It's
so
a
to
natural
speak.
development.
Yes.
And it applies to any sports, basically. This is that someone comes up with a style to play, a strategy, not the strategy per se, but just a way of playing the game that works, and then another team comes in and finds the counter for that. And then it's again, it's just a continuous kind of a development that keeps happening. People are going to start, like, they pay more attention to the small details. They'll find pixel perfect flashes to be 100% sure they're flashing certain areas. They'll utilize the Molotovs better. Like, for example, recently we've seen teams be spending a lot of their equipment just on anti-ecos or potential force buy situations and using the Molotovs. And before it was more about just using the raw firepower, trying to go in with the AK-47s, you know, making sure you have weapons that have good armor penetration. But now it's all about using the equipment, and then, you know, someone's going to come up with a new plan. How do we counter this situation? We can't anymore just be hiding in positions on the side, trying to stack aside and which hope for the best in a force buy situation. Instead, now you have to be the aggressor. So it's just a continuous development within teams, finding different ways to counter each other's style of play.
And it matters for both like specific maps and for like overall rules, because as you mentioned here, this is kind of an overall thing. The same counts for things such as force buys. Like, we've kind of seen a bit of like foot being taken off the gas pedal in terms of like these force buys. A lot of teams has been deciding to relax a bit with the force buys and actually try and think about the economy, especially on the CT side, because you're going to need the utility. Yeah.
If you're E-Frag, listen to us.
Yeah, because you're going to need the utility to hold down the terrorists. So these kind of armor 5-7 buys, you have to take into consideration what is the actual percentage of win rate in these rounds. Is it actually worth it to invest this much into them? And then again, the meta game can be things such as how do you hold the drop room, because as you say right now, there's no go-to play of how to hold this drop area. So teams will be looking at other teams and they'll be adjusting. They'll see, okay, Navi, for example, when they're on the CT side, they're going to leave drop room empty, and how are they going to react after? I know for a fact that some teams like to flash peek the plateau. Other needs to save some of the grenades so they can like try and re-engage into this kind of drop area. But then again, one of the most important things is just that you have an overall plan of like how you want to counter this play, because if you just let the terrorists take the drop area and you just lean back and let them do their things just gonna get out of hand.
Yep. Guys, I'm very worried, because when Navi were entering the booth, we could see the sun was out. And they didn't have any caps.
Well, maybe the Star Letter caps will come to rescue.
Exactly.
I wouldn't be surprised if Starks had a bag of caps after yesterday. Always prepared.
Maybe they're going to call Sunman.
We're waiting
Shut it
for
off.
the knife round to start, by the way. That should be getting underway anytime now. Until then, I guess maybe we can go and fetch some caps for the guys, make ourselves useful.
Yeah, I guess why not? Why not?
Yeah, the coach of Navi coming in now, or the general manager, and I guess, yeah.
He has a cap.
Yeah, he has a cap. Maybe he's going on a run for some now. All right, we've kind of semi-predicted. Okay, so the knife round has begun now. Yeah, I was going to say we have semi-predicted exactly what's going to happen in this map. It's CSGL's time to kind of take control, and they have to do that, and they have to perform above the level that we've seen in the last map.
In this best of 3, I figured this is the one map they might have a chance to make it competitive at. But all the signs right now seem like Navi's definitely woken up. I think they took a little bit too much time, obviously, closing out overpass.
So what
a map
do
they
here?
dictated
Do you
for the
stay or
first
do you
20
switch?
rounds.
What do you think? If you are CSGO launch and you win the knife round,
switch.
knowing,
I switch,
right?
yeah.
100% switch.
Yeah, knowing that
100%
Navi is
TSAT.
kind of weak. Yeah.
100% TSAT.
Okay.
But we didn't see it in the
They
game,
actually
I think.
stayed on the
Yeah.
CT side.
Okay.
Which
Idiots.
is interesting.
And guys, that brings us to this segment to a close from us. Let's see how this
idiotic.
Let's see how this game goes for Dobry. They have to win it to take it to a third map. If Navi take it, they move on to play VP in the grand final. Blue, Tom, take it away.
Thanks so much, guys. It's a beautiful day here in the Kiev Arena. We are live with the lower bracket finals once again at the Starlight Invitational. We're about to go into map number 2 now between Navi and Dobry&Gaming. Tom, let's talk a little bit about things before we hop into it.
Well, this is their best chance. By a country mile, this is their best chance. We've seen very, very weak performances on this map. except maybe against Flipside, we saw a very good CT side coming out. But apart from that, we've seen very problematic rounds actually coming out from Navi. But we are going to go straight into that pistol round, that all-important pistol round on the CT side. And this is going to be important stuff for the X-Lounge guys. They need to get straight into this one, need to get straight onto a winning streak, and well, I feel like it's very important for their confidence as well after what happened in the previous map. They were so far down that really they didn't get a chance to get moving. So we are going to see the utility on Innocent, the same for Zeus. Already we see quite a lot of B presence, but one player holding all the way back towards the A site. And Sparrow actually going to spy our flash, but nobody's actually going to drop down. They're just going to stay and wait.
Yeah. Going back to your point, though, if we do see Edward and Guardian most notably getting off to a good start, and Zeus to a certain degree as well, you see those guys starting off strong here, and they can keep their own confidence brewing, then it might end up being a quick, clean sweep here from Navi. But a lot of people seem to be counting out the Ex-CSGL guys. We don't want to knock them out just yet. They did a good job of fighting back, and ultimately, though, came down to the fact that they just weren't able to rack up as many rounds in the first half. It took them way too long to counter that out. So if they can make this first half competitive, then they might still have a chance to close things out and take it to a third.
Well, there was a point very early on in that game where it was either they got reset or Navi, and that could have completely changed that first half into a position where they would have been absolutely fine. So I do feel like there were opportunities for them then. Unfortunately, they didn't take that round. They didn't take that chance to get enough rounds on that T side, and eventually it was just too far away for them after the pistol went away. But here we go. We're going to see that push coming in. Not a lot of time actually left for Navi to work here. And Innocent, he's going to be the main man here. If he can stop this plant, it could be absolutely perfect. He is going to get spotted out, but he will do just that. Find a second as well. Big plays coming out from Innocent. He hits the third. Now it's all down to the man himself, Guardian. He is good in these pistols round, but surely he can't do this one, and the time isn't even going to let him. What a play from Innocent. Completely shuts down the pistol.
Yep, he saves that round, and again, that's the guys from Navi. They're very slow-paced play, even on a pistol round, biting them back. As they run out of time there, things get chaotic, and Innocent holds the line from inside of the chicken coop, so they're going to be able to take control of the pistol round. And judging from the results of this second round, they'll be off to a hot start here.
I think Flamey was just off by literally a few seconds to stopping all of that from happening. So it does show that timing sometimes is everything, and Innocent managing to get both of those kills early on, that pretty much ended it. There wasn't really much time for them to actually get the bomb down from there, but we are going to see a bit of a force, of course, Guardian saving up for that AWP, and actually, well, 3 SMGs, a mag, and only 1 rifle, so there is a chance to do some damage here. However, Miles will be finding that first kill onto Guardian. He's going to shred him alive without any Kevlar, so now we're going to be pushing in towards long.
Denise lining up an easy frag on Edward there. Not a whole lot that he's going to be able to do to resist this one, and 2 more are going to try to push themselves in a drop. There's a good pickup by C's, looking for a second one too. Hugging the pole. Nicely done, grabs Mihu. And now they're going to try to box us into the A site.
They have picked themselves up, well, some money-making guns. They've got the $600 moneymaker, the MP9, and the $900 moneymaker, the Mag 7. So if they can hit some shots here, even if they don't win the round, it would be a nice bonus, but a little bit worrying so far for the CT side. That was a very quick push coming in from Seized, and of course someone who he didn't step up in the last map. If he comes alive here too, it could be all over. The positioning from Seized, that's just so unfortunate. Pushing all the way around, not expecting, like, after that middle position was taken over, you have to think that surely Innocent must question whether they would come behind. But he was so fixated, he gets taken down. Now it's actually a rifle onto Seized.
Manisi will want to check inside there. Flamey, though, thankfully hasn't caught it as of yet. So on the site, it's not going to be as secure as of yet, especially since they have the flank coming in from platform as well from Mouse. But at the same time, Ex-CSGL cannot find anything of Navi. They're all so well hidden right now. Zeus is going to be the first one spotted, but C's picking up another kill now. Zeus looking for some more pickups there. They've got Mouse trapped, and he's just going to run away. He's giving this up. So Navi, they're going to find the trade rounds, and this immediately ties it up at 1-1. And it absolutely destroys the CT's economy.
Seized wants his ace. You can see him just running out. He wants to get this kill. He has had a almost impeccable round, and well, he's going to get ruined. Unfortunately, he's not going to get that ace. Mao's going to be building up a little bit extra cash for himself, but it just was. There was so many mistakes actually made there. The drop down play, 2 kills with that Tech 9, no trade available, and C's doing a huge amount of damage. But not only that, Innocent just didn't seem to react to the fact that they'd lost drop control and what the push would come in on to be, and then ends up getting flanked and killed by an MP9. So really a few mistakes coming in already, and they needed to capitalize on the situation they were in. They give a lot over to that T side as well, and well, now it is going to be a very, very difficult round coming in for them in the next.
as now they've been reset for the CT side. This is probably the worst situation you can place yourself into, but looking at the buy, they've gone all in, and Innocent, I think, was able to retrieve the M4 at the end of that last round. And starting things off here, it's actually not looking too bad for Ex-CSGL. They've already taken down Zeus and Edward.
Yeah, it was actually Mao's going ham with that M4. He's now dropped that over to a healthier player as well, so he's back with his CZ, and we've already seen him do quite a bit of damage with that already, so they are looking a little bit better. They did have enough extra cash after the sort of round they had before, where I think a couple of kills are made with some SMGs to buy up those rifles, so they are making a bit of an impact with them. Of course, still 3 rifles left. That nade is going to do a bit of damage, and Mao's going to go down in the meantime, but he's done enough. It's now down to the rest of his team to actually step up in these scenarios. We need to see how that other rifle come in, and there we go, Maniz. He finds himself one, looking for the second. He's already found the dink. This will give the pistols a huge chance, but either way, a couple of kills do come back in the favor of Navi, but they are pretty low, and Spiro could take both of them down with just this pistol. And I'm not sure. No, it's actually through the wall.
Spot it. He's outside the wall. So it looks like Flamey's going to be safe for now. But he does actually go inside, and he might catch him off. Nope, not going to be happening. Spiro finds that kill, and they've spotted Guardian too. That's some good damage going in. And with Innocent wrapping around on the flank side, it moves in and takes down Guardian, allowing for the trade round to come back in. Ex-CSGL off to a bit of a bumpy start, but they're once again back in control of things by winning the third.
Big round coming out there from Mao, starting off that round with a bang, and then the remaining players, they were already getting a little bit tagged, nades coming in, throwing stuff in, and well, he actually found the nade onto Guardian as well, which brought him low, so nice round coming out from him, an important round coming out from him, and now, well, it is down to the T side whether they do go for incredibly risky force or whether they do just now calm down a little bit and start getting into their 4-buys, and it does look like that's what they're going to do.
Navi as well gonna have to take this one back after unfortunately being led on what they would be led on anyway, a bit of a wild goose chase of buys if they were continuing going back and forth. Now if they won it, that probably would have been the point where they would have actually forced CSGL to run out of cash, but seeing as they were in pretty good shape, they're winning that one. They didn't really lose a lot of players. It's just not gonna be worth it for Navi. They'll just take this one down, and they'll let Ex-CSGL take the lead here.
Yeah, and on their CT side as well, so not getting off to a bad start. They're going to have at least 3 rounds on the ball before Navi are going to come back at them. Of course, they have taken a lot of damage from these pistols in the past, and we saw some mistakes coming in just against some Glocks previously, so it definitely isn't over as of yet. There are chances for Navi to do some damage, but there are already 3 players pretty close to that A site at least, and the long-range jaws are just going to be pretty damn hard unless they can hit some pretty crazy shots with those deagles. So we are going to see Maniz already taking the peaks. If they do throw a nade down there, they'll do a lot of damage, although not the nade I was hoping for, but there we go, the peek out. He's going to find one. They're going to spar the players as well, and Spiro's position is absolutely perfect. He'll peek out. Not going to find that kill. Got to watch out for Guardian as well, although he is going to get saved in a perfectly clean round. A nice build-up of economy for the Dobry guys.
Yep, to be expected, of course, in that round with the fairly weak buy we saw coming in from Navi. They're just not really going to be able to impact all that well at all. So they do manage to wipe their way through that one pretty easily. Now the next test comes in, though, since that was a full save from Navi. I would assume that they should be able to have enough cash this time, but we'll have to wait and see since we're not in game.
Yeah.
And yeah, it looks like they've gone for the buy here.
Yeah, well, you can see an AK, AWP on Guardian as well. Is glass cannon, so going to be trying to make an impact early on. Of course, he's normally the player that has to bring them through that CT side, but at the moment, they need some help on the Ts. They're already 3 rounds, or 3-1 down, and well, a little aggression coming out, taking over that plat position early on. Are actually going to be falling back now. Again, more aggression coming out. Look at the position of Mouse at the moment. It is quite a common one, but a lot of people are reluctant to use it recently, so that he may catch them out. He's actually falling back a little bit, Edward looking for the push, but the majority of players are over towards that B site at the moment, pushing towards drop.
Mao's now making his way out there, looking for the strike on Edward. He's got support coming in from Maniz as well, and it's going to work out perfectly. Edward doesn't even know how to handle himself in that situation, so he's going to be destroyed. And the remaining members of Navi now prime themselves for a B hit. They're still smoked off by Ex-CSGL. No drop control being maintained as of yet, or at least they haven't found a way outside of it, but C's moving in. They're going to try to use some nades and just overall pressure to force Innocent out. Not going to be working out too well, however, is again, the guys from Dobry&Gaming just shutting this down entirely. Zeus and Guardian, the final 2 left alive, and Spiro just pushing his way onto the platform behind the smoke. Takes down Guardian, drops the op, and for Zeus, 35 seconds left. He's got control of the bomb, but whatever he does, it's just going to be essentially nerves forcing him into the fray here.
And there we go, another flawless round coming out, and this time it wasn't against the Nico either. That was actually a full buy coming in, although there were a couple of players skimping on occasions with no armor on Guardian, but already off to a nice start, Dobry. They're bouncing back after the terrible last map. But the thing you have to remember is these guys normally, although we did see it previously, normally Navi are not that good on the CT side. It's their T side that's always bringing them that huge amount of rounds. We see them sometimes get as little as 4. So they do have to start waking up a bit here, because I feel like, again, we saw towards the end of the game, they did start to take their foot off the gas a little bit. It was mentioned by the analysts, the fact that, yeah, they realized they were so far in front. Now they don't seem to have got their foot back on it. And, well, Spear are going to be finding a nice entry kill into this round. Michu going to be finding another one, and, well, just cleaning things up here. They don't look like they're struggling at all against these sort of anti-eco buys.
No, Navi not making a whole lot of progress and a whole lot of momentum, really, for themselves at all here. Ex-CSGL have gotten off to a great start. We're seeing players just dominate things round after round once again. Now for Navi, though, these final 2, I mean, you've already got the bomb way back on Zeus. Edward, I think he's just going to try to go for a last attempt push here. No, actually, he's going to get a kill, but it's quickly traded up by Mouse.
Yeah, bit of a mistap there from Mihu. The dancing Edward manages to get away, but Zeus just going to be holding all the way back. Maybe just having a talk through what's going on.
They're using this as like a pause,
yeah,
basically.
It does look like they're just going to waste the last few minutes. Of course, he does want to end up dying, because otherwise he would just have a P250 and no extra money into the next round. But I imagine just when it gets to about 30, 20 seconds,
I mean, he's in the tower. In theory, I think he could just jump up the tower. And that fall damage might be enough.
I don't know how much. I suppose he could keep it, but would that...
He's just going to run out now.
Yeah, I imagine he'd just run to his death. Try and go for a large dish effort. Those Navi gloves do look pretty badass, I have to be honest. I'm a big fan of the gloves. Valve, please, just add those in. Why not? Why not? You add stickers with the teams on them. Why not gloves? But he is actually doing a bit of damage here. Of course, he does want to die eventually, but he finds another one. And now this is going to be costly. He's doing so much. And that's down to 2 players after it was a 4 versus 1 against a P250. So a little bit of a mistake coming in for Dobry, but they do win the round.
He just sat back and was wasting time there at end about the 30-second mark, too. That's not so bad. And he moves in there and picks up 2 additional frags. So keeping the damage rolling a little bit here. Trying to keep the CT economy in a maintainable position, but not coming off of another full save here. Now you will find themselves in a buy. Does not include the op on Guardian, however, so that lowers their effectiveness by a very, very big margin.
Yeah. Wondering if they will opt to switch the pace up a little bit here, because the slow pushes don't seem to be paying off for them at the moment. And look at Spiro's position. He's going to be jumping up with that AWP. This is risky, but if he can pull this one off, it would be absolutely wonderful. Here we go. Change of pace comes in. They're going to go straight onto the plat position with plenty of time left. Innocent just spraying into a wall at the moment. Doesn't quite know where he is, and he needs to find something here. He's managed to fall back through the smoke. Actually got in behind them as well, so this could be detrimental, but luckily Seized is in a perfect position. He can catch them out. We're going to see a push coming in. Spiro is still in position with the AWP, going to be finding one as well, and Innocent doing the same. It is back to a decent position now as Maniz finds one more. The bomb is going to go down, but Maniz finding another one. He's doing great work here, and it's all down to Edward. Going to be finding one through the box. He's got 2 more to find, looking for the head of Maniz, but he's not going to find it. It's 7 HP, and Mao's finished things off. A nice hold coming out from Dobry&Gaming.
Bit of a brutal trade, but again, Navi can never find themselves in a solid post-plant position. So they caught a lot of them out in the open. It's an easy retake for the guys on Dobry to find at the end of the day, surviving with 2 at the end. Bit of a trade battle going on here and there, but they still managed to have good control of things. With Navi desperate to find some cover, they're not really ever able to find a position which they can use to then sort of dominate the players on the CT side coming in for a retake.
Well, it looked like that was actually a very good read coming in from Dobry, just because of the fact they actually pushed 2 players very aggressive around the back before the Navi guys even got onto the side. So it was so sort of sandwiched in before they really even got anywhere. So it's actually a very, very nice play from the Polish guys. And, well, now, yeah, Navi are going to be forcing up. They've got themselves the AWP. The loss bonus has built up, but it's getting to a point where, well, looking at 6 rounds already on the CT side, if they get too many more, the T side is the favored side, well, in my opinion anyway, and I feel like it's going to be a good opportunity for Dobry to bring this one home.
Edward trying to find something beyond this Molotov, as he knows Ex-CSGL are going to be a little bit more keen to peek out in that situation, but nothing to be found here. And Spiro also moving himself over to the other side of the wall. He's picked up one already. Drats the bomb out first, too. Finds a second one. Already looking for a response, but he's not going to be able to pick that up as of yet. Falling back inside of the smoke, but now he's cut up by Maniz, who pushes down the suicide steps. Edward firing off there. He's giving away his position. The pause now coming in for Navi. And Seized, although he does have a bit of a flank lined up, they don't even realize that Mihu and Seized are literally right next to each other. He's going to pick up 1 frag. Edward finding a second, so this is not done just yet.
Yeah, well, we do now have one player looking towards his position, but there's still a chance for them to catch someone out. They've got plenty of time to play with at the moment. We'll have to make this move, but look at Innocent. He may just be able to ruin this. C's actually going to get taken down as well, and now Edward with 11 HP. It looked like there was a chance. I feel like that chance is now gone.
Yep, Edward as well, down at only 11. He's going to walk out into his own death. There we go, Mal's finishing him off. Ex-CSGL leading the way right now, 7-1 as we go into the pause for Navi.
Well, more interestingly, I think I just caught a glimpse of that. Mal's on 13-1 in terms of kills and deaths, which is absolutely ridiculous. It looks like most of their players now are starting to step up a bit more. And the other thing that they have, which they didn't have at all, is the economy. And now that Spiro's on that up, we've already seen him just finding shots through the smoke, finding shots onto players pushing up towards that A site. And, well, just look at the faces of the Navi guys at the moment. They are sort of stunned because this is a completely different map now. And it does seem to be the fact that they're very, very good on overpass. And then they switch over to something like Cobble or Train, and things are just falling apart a bit.
And Guardian just not really being anywhere close to effective as he was in the previous map in that first half there. He's immediately sort of fallen off the bandwagon. And we're not seeing anybody else step up there. We're not seeing Edward coming in with those big clutches. Zeus as well, who's been having some pretty big plays over the past few days. Nothing rolling out for these guys right now. And unfortunately, because of that, Navi sit behind almost a complete flip of what we had on their last map.
Yeah, and the other thing is as well, they have been very, very good by the looks of it on their CT side. So like on overpass, their CT side was impressive. It was very good. Guardian was playing ham. He was just walking around, able to play those passive positions. But when he's forced into an aggressive position, unless they get the plant down, he doesn't seem to be as effective. Like we noticed him going for a refrag there. He had a free shot, couldn't hit it, and gets punished from behind. So it does seem at the moment that their T-sides are lacking. And on a map that is this T-sided, that's worrying. However, I'm interested to see whether they can do what they did to Flipside and actually take a ridiculous CT half.
Crowd wants to see the Navi 2-0 now, but unfortunately they're not going to have the buy to do it here. This would be an impressive one as they've gone for the Tech 9 force up, although Guardian finding the first one and Flamey picking up a second one. CSGL, they seem to be content with holding back, but now Mihu going to be coming into the site. C's grabbing another one though, able to take down Mihu, finds the trade. Now Spiro's locked out of the site. They will have to be careful because Innocent is on his way on the flank right now, and Spiro got the up in hand. There's a nice flick to take down Flamey. They're getting this back under control, and now in comes Innocent as well, up the T-ramp. He's not going to find anyone initially if Navi have spammed out all over the site. He can still catch some of these guys up on the platform itself. Innocent finding one. Zeus quick on the trade though now that he's retrieved an M4, and it's all going to be in the hands of Spiro. Sneaking his way up. He knows Edward is retreated back out over towards long A, but he knows Zeus is going to be somewhere on this platform as well. Trying to sneak around. Zeus has no clue that he's lurking against him right now, so he's going to roll in, but Zeus turns just in the nick of time. Navi are going to spot that, and finally they get back onto the board now with the second round for themselves.
Yeah, massive round coming out, a complete switch up of pace. We saw them try that onto the B site. This time it was over towards A, and they just overwhelmed all the players trying to go aggressive, and that was absolutely wonderful. Very quick kill coming in from Guardian. C's doing some nice work as well. And, well, they bring this back, and they do force the CTs to spend up a lot of their economy. However, I do think Mao still has 7K in the bank, so they're not going to be in a real problem yet. But there is still a chance. There's still a chance for Navi to bring this one back to a sort of 8-7 line, but they need to start winning rounds in a row. They can't afford to just win one and lose this one. So Guardian now back on the AWP. The 4x has come into play. They saved quite a bit in the last round and also did a hell of amount of damage. And, of course, still had the bonus coming in. So this is going to be it. This is where Navi need to start stepping up and need to stop underestimating their opponent.
Spiro now up on top of the platform. He's going to try to spot a quick attempt to take control of the B-bomb site from Navi, but this is not where Navi are throwing their players toward. It's the A split that we were seeing a lot over the past few days by a couple teams being exercised now, and with Guardian finding that first kill, it might actually sell in the other direction. C's even picking up this first kill, and they may actually just switch this to a B hit after all, now that they found these two kills. It's going to be much better. Yeah, they definitely should. Yeah. Flamey finds a third over here now.
And this has just been a much, much better round. We saw the initial AWP frag not go to Spiro this time. He gets taken down by Guardian, and by at the moment, this is just absolute cleanup. There we go. Mihu going to be finding one. I said this guy's a talent, but that would be absolutely ridiculous if he managed to do that one. And they managed to win that follow-up round with 4 players staying alive, and that is the economy going back towards Navi now.
So the pause seems to have worked out again for Navi. At least right now it has. Although at the same time, some responses were finally found for the guys on Ex-CSGL yesterday as well. It did take them a really long time, but they were able to sort of circumnavigate and figure out. It's just going to be a force-up coming in from CSGL. They've got enough money for 3 rifles, and Innocent can get like an upgraded pistol with full utility. Spiro, though, unfortunately, not going to be anywhere close to do that, so he just has to go for the Nova.
Not a gun we see that often. I think I've seen it occasionally over towards the B side of Inferno, but other than that, I can't really think of a position where you would want to play this weapon. Of course, drop down is relatively close range. It's just the Nova is so unpredictable. The RNG with that gun is absolutely ridiculous unless you're shooting them point blank in the head. But here we go, Maniz. Again, they take this aggression. Guardian going to be going down, and somehow this force bite seems to be working. They're in a great position. He finds another kill, and now it's all down to Edward. And somehow, this buy has worked perfectly. Innocent going to pick up the AWP, and they've just made themselves a huge amount of money by picking up all that economy and saving all their players.
Spiro gets a free upgrade from the Nova to an AK as well, picking up one of the dropped ones. So, right back onto the... I was talking about the guys over here from Ex-CSGL being able to sort of counter out the strats from Navi pretty quickly on this map, and they seem to have found a way to do it once more. Navi, unfortunately, are just not going to be able to keep themselves consistent. Only 2 rounds being picked up so far in a row, with them finding that one sporadic round after they offset the second force too. So CSGL take back really good control, and this was just before they were going to be put onto an eco, and that is where things could have gotten out of control for Navi, but thankfully it doesn't happen. And again, these aggressive positionings just continue to pay off for Dobry.
Well, that was the lurk player there over towards the B site, so Seized is down and out. We're already in an 8-3 position for Dobry. They're still firmly in control of this at the moment, even though they did have a little bit of a slip up in the last couple of rounds. Nice positioning from Mouse, needs to hit the shot, and he will do just that. So there goes one, a little bit of a delay with the kill feed there, but it still comes up eventually. Mani's going to be finding 1 and 2. He's stepping up big in this map. We saw him come alive a little bit on the CT side of the previous, but going much, much bigger here. And now Guardian, he's got an AWP, he's got a minute, and he doesn't have the bomb.
Guardian really just hunting out some frags now. No reason for him to peek out widely and try to go for any rash attempt to take control of the site, but he's going to get 1 for free at the very least. Dropping Innocent. Now they know where he is, though, and the hunt begins. You could see them all converging on his position. Falling back a little bit, though, having some second thoughts about that, wanting to take an open duel, especially out here in mid with Guardian. It looks like they're just going to let him escape for the time being, since they should be reset after this one, and that AWP is really going to be the only weapon they'd have to worry about going into the 13th round.
But yeah, it was. I feel like it was this decision that most people make of push Guardian or keep our weapons, and I think keeping the weapons was probably the better decision here. Also, he hasn't been particularly good so far finding those kills onto the sites. Of course, in this time we are waiting, we are just going to watch a dancing chicken, which is of course the most important thing in this game at the moment. One of the greatest additions Valve ever made was chickens on maps.
Yeah. Cool.
Can they edit the chickens? I want to see a Navi chicken.
I mean, there's those holiday chickens.
Yeah, but I mean, can the guys here?
How would you do that, though? Like,
well, you can
which
edit.
chickens would be which?
You could edit the signs. Just, I don't know, have it like random.
Yeah, but like, how do you make a Navi chicken? Like,
I didn't even know you could make different gloves.
Like, you like branding the Navi chicken? That's like animal cruelty.
It's worth it.
Or I mean, well,
it's better than turning into KFC.
You could just put Navi sweaters on them. I think
Yeah, I suppose.
But then you need to give CSGL some chickens too. So like, how do you determine who gets what chickens?
I don't know. Maybe if they click E on them, and then rather than following, it just turns into a sweater chicken. But clearly they want Navi chicken, so you know. Technical pause now coming out.
The crowd rooting for Navi. They do want to see this 2-0 shutdown coming in. Trying to give them as much inspiration as possible. The home crowd here rooting for them. But right now, there is a struggle for Navi, as they just can't seem to find their footing on this T side.
We started off with 4 teams with Ukrainian presence, at least. We are now down to just 1. And actually, there's 2 Polish teams still in the tournament. So the Poles, actually, only 2 of them to start with. There's 2 of them left. So we've definitely got already 1 Polish team in the final. That's going to be Virtus Pro. And I'm sure Dobry are going to be really wanting to play their big brother again to try and, well, dominate Poland, I guess.
The CSGO Lounge guys feeling pretty good about themselves. Obviously stepping up big time. Maniz, I think, has been one of our big players there, especially when it comes to taking those more aggressive duels on the CT side, peeking on trying to surprise Navi. He's been pretty good at actually finding like multiple kills in those, especially up on the platform. We've seen him push that a couple times and find like 2 or 3 kills at once
Wow.
in a few of these rounds. So having a big impact there.
I don't know if we can have a look at the scoreboard, but I think Mouse is pretty far up there at the moment as well, and Spiro currently hitting his shots with the AWP when he has it. So I do think it is big plays coming out at the moment from a lot of their players. Hopefully at some point we will get to look at the scoreboard to see where they're actually standing. But it looks like Guardian, again, on that T side, he has been a little bit lackluster, a little bit slow. Well, we don't get the scoreboard, but that's just as good, I guess.
I suppose. League of Legends, yeah.
Yeah, well, I'm still a little bit
Better
mad
if they were
about
just
the
CSGO
tweet.
clappers.
Yeah, I suppose. Then again, we're gonna they're gonna make Navi chickens, so it's fine. I'm basically just throwing our production team under the bus here because I want chickens with sweaters on them.
So we are still in a technical pause, guys, whether if you're wondering what the delay is. I think we had a couple problems with the computers yesterday. That may be the cause of it now. Maybe a mic issue. Someone needs to kiss their mouse or something like that. I know we've seen a couple camera shots of players doing that in the past.
I've seen a lot of interesting player shots over the last few days. For
Yeah.
Sure.
Shout out to Seized.
Yeah, perfect timing on that one. That was lovely.
I hope his undergarments are positioned properly today.
Back to the chickens, they could also add the Star Ladder hats as well that they were wearing the other day, so then it is the full sort of chicken. I'm interested to see if they can edit them. I really am, because
So-
they can edit gloves, they can edit walls. Why can't they edit chickens?
I was really confused when I got here because like I saw because all the Starlighters have those red hats, like those bright red hats, but I didn't realize they were Starlighter hats at first. So you know how like
You just thought everyone had worn the same hat?
No.
Oh God,
All right,
no, we all match.
You know how like Trump has that hat, the bright red "Make America Great Again" hat. I literally thought when I first came into the venue that like everybody had one of those hats, and I was like,
You thought that all the Ukrainians were rooting for Trump?
I just thought there was a bunch of people wearing Trump hats, and I was like, wow. But then I saw
Oh,
that was
there we
Starlighter
go.
hats,
Now-
and
now this is what
and
I
I
wanted.
instantly felt like an idiot.
This is what I wanted. I want to watch Edward eat a banana. This is made my day. I don't want to watch CS. There we go. There we go. This is what you call entertainment. I'm not sure what's going on with the technical pause at the moment. Hopefully it will be something that can be sorted out. They do have some of their caps back on. We can already see Zeus with his.
Where did he get that banana? Like, where did that come from?
C's trousers. Wait, what do you think he was doing? That's where
I'm
he
serious
keeps all
though.
his food.
Where did he get a banana from? Was he just keeping a banana like in the event there would be an extended pause? Or did he
Why
ask
not?
someone for a banana and they got it for him that quickly? I have not seen bananas at this venue before, so where the hell did he get that banana from?
I think you're going a little bit too.
I want to know where the hell that banana came from.
Oh, they've got Navi hats now.
That is an intense look.
That is the look of someone who, yeah, we're getting destroyed on Cobblestone. Or maybe he's just really mad that he doesn't have a banana and Edward does. So where was my banana? Maybe that's what he's questioning. That's why this is going on. That's why they're playing so bad.
You can see though that there is a little bit of frustration because this isn't the optimal situation for them. Because now the problem for Navi is like, all right, they want to get back into the game. This is enough of this. This is like screwing them over mentally now as well because they're ready. They want to get back into this game. They want to keep fighting. And I mean, maybe like a 1 or 2 minute break can be good to sort of reset the players. Like this one is a lot more extended than that. This has been like going off for like 3 or 4 minutes now. And at this point, like at least in my eyes, I would sort of be getting
There we
annoyed.
go. We've got
There's the glasses guy.
The
yeah.
one Polish fan.
No, I don't care about that guy. I'm caring about the guy with the deal with the glasses. That's he's very happy to be a Dobry&Gaming fan though. He's like, yeah, look at my sign.
We have seen a few Virtus Pro tops as well though. So
I noticed there was a bunch of people with Navi jerseys, but they weren't wearing them.
oh.
They were just like holding them in their hands.
Also, we had a lot of Hellraiser's flags, but they were actually given out by Bondic, so I don't think that really counts.
There was I think we showed it on camera yesterday at one point, but I forget who it was. I think it was the manager. I don't think it was Bondic at that time, but like someone came over behind us on this overlook
think
here.
that
was that Bondic?
Bondic, yeah.
Yeah, and he threw the flags
Yeah,
down.
that's
There was like
it.
a mad rush for it though. Everybody was like, oh, I want some free stuff.
Hey, I want some free stuff. I also
is it
want
a cat?
chickens with jumpers on them. And I want a banana now. Just, this is not fair. Then again, neither is this pause. Of course, it does give Starix a good opportunity to talk over with his players all that has been going wrong. They can talk about, but a lot of it as well is just been mistakes. Like, we saw a round where Spiro got 2 free kills because they ran through a smoke and then Guardian missed a refrag. Oh, we're going back to the goal cam. Oh, wow, look at those hats.
Wrong game. We'll see them a bit later, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm not watching.
Anyway, it looks like we finally unpaused it, guys. Technical issue has been resolved, and we're getting into things. For anybody that is still just joining us, it's currently 9-3 in the advantage of Ex-CSGL. Navi holds the advantage in this set, however, as they took the last map back on Overpass, but struggling to get their foot on the ground here on the T side on Cobble.
No, and after that AWP save, they have actually gone for a Tech 9 buy to go around with Guardian. Does mean if they lose this one, though, that he'll actually be a little bit down for cash as well. And that's already been a problem for them in this game, where we've seen Seized having a round where he saved an AK, and then in the next he had just a pistol. It's been very, very questionable, some of these rounds as well. So Guardian, he's going to have to make a big impact, and it's not something we've seen so far on this map. The last map, brilliant. Yesterday, some of the maps he played, brilliant. Today, I'm just not seeing anything on that, or this map anyway. I'm not seeing anything from him, and it's been the CT side, and straight away we are going to see an entry kill, or a few entry kills. Flamey doing some nice work. We are going to see that spray down from Mouse, but he quickly turns away. And actually now, this is going to be back into a 2 versus 2. Flamey may be able to pick up a weapon here. Doesn't look like he's found anything yet. Mini's actually in a very good position here to possibly stop Guardian. And Guardian, oh, is he going to check this corner? It's going to be down to Flamey actually in a decent position here. But is he going to expect it? Yes, he is, and a nice shot as well. He finds that kill, and this is a big, big round. It looks like, well, the unintentional pause may have worked out for them, but there we go, Spiro. He manages to find the kill. He's picked up an M4. He's going to be trying to bring them that 10th round. It's going to be down to Guardian. The AWPers are in a duel, but it's not an AWP this time, but Guardian finishes things off. That AWP making a huge impact in the round.
Guardian definitely back in the swing of things now after the pause. That's the performance we want to see from him. He's been a little bit shy about it this event, but when he shows up in a very big way, just like that. I said it before, that AWP was going to be all they had, but that AWP seemed to be all they needed there. A couple Tech 9 frags coming out, but for the most part, Guardian, the star of the show.
Yeah, nice
puts a
work
4th
from
round
Flamey.
onto the board for Navi.
Nice work from Flamey as well in that round. So they've managed to save their economy, an important thing there, because of course Guardian may have not been able to buy if they didn't. They are also going to be having, of course, the bomb plant and everything else, so additional money is in play, and now it's going to be down to them to try and bring this back to 6. Of course, from 6, we've seen some big CT halves from them in the past. Normally it's their T side that bring them through, but hey, Navi are adaptable. They can change.
Right now just spraying to punish any players that try to go for an aggressive push back over towards the platform. They do have Innocent up there, but I think he's behind the box, so he should be safe elsewhere on the map, though. Closer to the log A push. Edward's going to find the first kill of the round for Navi as he takes down Mouse with the bigger players, but Manise is still going to move in there to punish it. Smoke's still in play, but Edward finding that one as well. Unfortunate with the timing on the smoke fade, so Manise is going to be caught up by that one.
That was the difference. He was hungry, and there we go, Guardian going to be finding a kill also onto Innocent, so now it is going to be the 5 versus 2. It looks like maybe the extended pause has actually made worse for the Dobry guys, because they're now missing a few shots, making a few mistakes, going for some aggressive pushes that aren't paying off. It's going to be down to the remaining players. Another missed shot from Spiro. He needs to be connecting these. The flank already coming in. Zeus going to be spotted out, though. Not finding any of these shots. He's missed so many in a row. He will finally find one. Going for a second. Misses the flick. And they get closed down. 1 shot hit in about 6.
I mentioned that the extended pause would be affecting Navi a little bit more because they're at the disadvantage, but I mean, I think you're right. It definitely still affects both teams in different ways, but I think in this case it's affected the guys from Dobry&Gaming a little bit more negatively. So now all of a sudden they seem to be missing a lot of their shots. Spiro definitely missing his connections. Now he's not as dominant back over on long A as he has been in the past. And immediately with these 2-round victories, it's going to put Ex-CSGL onto an all-in force.
Yeah, they're now just going to have to try and make something out of very, very little, of course. We have seen some great CZ play from them, great pistol play, and actually this is a perfect position to find a kill. Maniz actually takes that one away, but nevertheless they find that kill, and that's an important start to the round. However, Spiro in the meantime has gone very, very low, and he only has himself a mag. Looking up, we're going to see Innocent go through. He finds another one for his team, and well, actually, there's a chance for Mouse also to pick up a rifle over towards long, although it does look like they are defending that. Mihu going to be finding another one, so that's now back into a very, very good situation for the CT side, and somehow Navi have just fallen flat.
I don't know what it is with these force-up rounds, but Ex-CSGL is going to be doing a fantastic job of piecing them together here. Zeus now trying to force his way into the A box site to draw some rotations, but that's probably not going to work out so well. And Spiro watching for the drop. He could drop the bomb now right now if we don't see C's properly checking. He's focusing right now on the other angles. He doesn't suspect Spiro to be inside of this at all. He's going to try to toss the nade back up. That's not distracting him at all. An easy frag for him to find, and with Mal's picking up the other one elsewhere, it's going to be 10-5 half, a 10-5 half, apologies, in the favor of the guys from Dobry&Gaming.
There's 2 full buys in a row, and then they win with that. Just, it seems sometimes that when they go for those pushes that just are ridiculously aggressive, they seem to get the timings absolutely perfect. Like, when they move slow, or they've already lost a player, and then they go for a push, it goes wrong a little bit. But when they're just doing it as the plan for the round, they have these aggressions that seem to somehow work exactly in their favor, like the initial push coming out from Maniz and Mouse. They push around the corner and catch him with a nade in his hand. Nothing he can do there. Of course, then after that, things seem to just fall apart for the T side. And well, we've seen them get 11+ rounds on the T side many a time. I haven't seen it very often from Navi on the CT side, so this is going to have to be a big comeback. Otherwise, we are going onto Mirage, a map that actually, another map that Dobry managed to take off them the last time they played.
Navi, though, very spread out at the beginning of this round. A 2-2-1 stack with Zeus pushing out towards long A. Everybody from Ex-CSGL, however, is pushing into the mid-connector. I don't even know if Zeus has spotted any of this, but Guardian is going to be able to hold off some of the initial pressure coming back in. They didn't spot the ramp play, though, so they're going to be able to leap right into there. Guardian trying to hold his own, but he doesn't want to put himself in combat just as yet. There's a good shot from Guardian, though. Jumping out mid-reload. It's going to be Mouse that catches him. Guardian with his kill. C's now moving in to find the trade for it, taking down Mouse. And with this, Edward also pushes back into the play. Maniz is going to be the last one alive, but Flamey shuts him down as well. They did find the play, but that's all they're going to get out of this round, as Navi will take control of the pistol on half number 2.
Yeah, Team Ace coming in, so every single player stepping up to find at least one frag. We saw actually the flank coming in from Zeus, which sort of boxed them in after a while. They knew exactly where this push was going before it even got anywhere near the site, and it just made the rotation so very, very quick coming up from Navi. So they get that pistol, they get off to the start they need, and look at this, got Mao's currently 19-6, having an incredible game, and they need him to continue. But there isn't really anyone particularly slacking anywhere in the game. I feel like everybody is having their moments, everybody's having some frags, but it is the guys from Dobby who are on top at the moment.
And for Navi again, it'll be the default split 2-3 to try and prevent Ex-CSGL from going for a quicker play in one of these sites. I'm sort of expecting something normal this time. They know they're probably going to be going for... Actually, I think they would expect them to light buy this time, so this Tech 9 force that may catch them off guard a little bit, but thankfully, as soon as they meet one of them, because of the more split style of play we're seeing from Ex-CSGL right now, with like Manises to push in, that could reveal it pretty quickly as to what kind of buy this is going to be. But Spiro pushing in first, they've got it overwhelmed. They box seized inside. There's no way he's escaping from that one, and they're going to find the first kill. Now quick control of the B site going to be maintained. Flamey, though, able to hold this back. They're going to line up for him, but he's actually going to run out of ammo there. Tries to switch over to his own Tech 9, but Manises is going to punch that. Guardian and Edward roll back in, though. And with Edward Val finding a third kill for himself and the team, Michu is going to be the last one going, but he's punished as well. There's another one being picked up from Navi, but it's a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, the force buy, it was a nice idea. They tried to catch them off guard. They did actually get the initial kill in the round. They started things off with a bang, but after that, everything just seemed to fall apart a little bit. The Navi guys stepped up with their rifles, with their SMGs, and they cleaned things up. And now, actually, the guys from Dobry, they're not going to have much. They didn't get the bomb plant down, so they're probably just going to have to go for some sort of eco in this round.
Yeah, I would imagine so. Now, as they get ready for the first gun round on round number 4, not going to be able to work towards it this time. Quickly, though, everybody's outside middle, so Zeus is being met with quite a lot of opposition very early on in the round here, as he sits back and waits for Ex-CSGL to push in his direction. That will not be the case more than likely, though, as everybody now falling back into those B halls to switch the hit, since they have been scouted outside of mid.
Yeah, I feel like this is going to be a nigh an impossible round. We have seen many of these actually work in this tournament, but not normally because of, oh my god, that was a crazy play. It's normally some mistakes coming out from the opposition, and I'm hoping we're past that with Navi, although from the previous half, I'm not so sure we are. And it is a bit scary. I'm wondering if they should actually just, after this, just sort of veto this map out, because I feel like if Virtus Pro get these sort of opportunities, although they're in the same boat that they make the mistakes, I just feel like they have such talented players on occasions that could just completely dominate Navi if they do give away halves like this. But we are going to see the push coming into middle. There is going to be the pistols coming up close and personal, so there is an opportunity here to try and take down Guardian. He is getting swarmed a little bit, but he's going to reset his position. Actually going to go back the other way, but now he's going to get sandwiched in, so it is a 1-for-1 trade. The rotation already in, though, and this is getting more and more difficult for the T side. Spiro will find one more, but they are just going to get shut down. 3 players survive, and although they get very, very low, it's enough.
Navi now within 2 rounds of tying this back up, but we also get into the gun round phase here, as the players from Dobry are going to be able to have enough to go for their full buy for the first time.
I wonder if we'll actually see an AWP at this stage. Seized here with some nice control, just taking down a few players. Gonna find it with the pistol. But yeah, I wonder, it's actually Flamey doing most of the work. And they do have an ult. It is glass cannon, but they're investing into it anyway. Guardian has one on the opposing side. Of course, with armor, they have plenty of cash to buy up. They haven't actually got all the nades on that T side, and the CTs will be able to slow them down a bit. I do like this initial smoke just to show or slow any of the pushers that want to come in onto plat, and it actually gives Edward a very safe push up onto plat without anybody really getting anywhere near him. So that smoke, I think, is a smoke that every single team should learn, because it's very, very good and very, very useful.
So Guardian's going to press his way over here to the top of the platform now. But again, not being able to find anything as of yet. There's been a very large slowdown from Ex-CSGL's side of this one. They're just waiting right now before they actually strike on any of these sites. The default lineup, a little bit heavier towards the A-bomb side with these 3 players pushing in now for long and control, but still a fairly normal way to approach the round.
Also, the thing that I have noticed is when Navi get Guardian set up in this position, they're just able to rotate another player over and even put maybe even a third over, just because it means that he's just got such a long-range position, and they rely on him so much on the CT side to go big. And they're going to need him for the remainder of the rounds to keep doing that. But we are now seeing the build-up over towards the B side, possibly going to split using drop. And then it's going to come down to Guardian a lot here. He's going to miss that first shot. And actually, Spirit's going to be finding the instant shot onto him. So this is problematic now for the CT side. They've got to rotate those players back. Seized only playing with an SMG. Innocent is already out and down. He's going to be finding the first. And, well, Edward quickly finding 2 back, finding a third as well. Big plays for Mihu! What? Oh, my God, that play.
Not watching those flanks. We've seen that issue pop up time and time again for Navi. And once again, it shows its ugly head as Mihu comes in and just wrecks everybody from Navi. They're all lined up for him, and that's going to be a beautiful spray transfer as well to find the 3rd kill. The first 2 are easy. It's that 3rd one that's very impressive. So
wonderful stuff. And it was just, look, such big plays, but he lines them up and instantly just flicks and hits that headshot. Wonderful, wonderful stuff. And we've mentioned this guy before saying that he didn't go big on occasions, but that was brilliant. And now he's brought them that 11th round. And actually, well, they're going to be coming back with a buy, but look at the CTs. They actually have a CZ in play, a Mag 7. The Orb's still on Guardian, but he did nothing in that round. And that was something that, well, it basically lost it for them because they bet so much on him doing work. But Seized is going to start this off. Mihu again finding another kill. He takes down Seized. Edward doing more work, but Innocent just going to go pushing through aggressively. But Flamey punishes, actually picking up an AWP as well. And there we go, Flamey. Going to be down to Mihu once more, but this time he's not on the flank. This time he's wide in the open, and he has 12 HP.
I'm going to want to be a little bit cautious about that wide peek outside, but Mihu in the meantime had really fallen away from the picture. So we wanted to worry about him for the time being. He's moved up though, and he's just going to wait for him to peek back over there again. Hook, line, and sinker. Flamey finds the 3rd kill, recovers the round for Navi, and the immediate trade should throw a big wrench into the works here now for the guys on Dobry.
Yeah. Actually, that's going to be a real big problem because they managed to do one crazy round, one round that came out from one of their players, a big play, a big flank. But now they're going to be back to a horrible situation once more. The CT's going to be trying to farm up some cash with Edward on the SMG, same with Seized. And, well, this is the one way that we really could see Navi just slowly grind their way back into this one, using the economy to their advantage. And look at the position of Edward already. We're going to see Innocent take a bit of damage from the nade, but this does look like it's going to be a quick B play, and that one has put him down to 3 HP. He's basically just pushing to his death now. Seized instantly going to take him down. The spray coming out from Seized. There's 3 players pushing in his scenario, but it's going to be Zeus to find a triple kill. Edward finds one more, and a perfect round again from Navi.
Navi have bounced back into this game, and despite a fairly lackluster first half from them, they've managed to bring this back under their control, and they now sit with just 1 round of tying this up. That guy there in the middle does not look pleased at all.
I've always liked Still Series.
In the dark brown and blue shirt. He's like
just calling him out straight away.
He's
just
like
giving him the.
I put a lot of money on Ex-CSGL. They better not lose this.
You might as well just give like a police description. You have brown hair or blue eyes. Just like give it. What was that? It was so brutal. But we are going to see now the buy. It's come back in from the T side. The CT still sticking with one of those SMGs. Guardian is back on the AWP, but it does look like it's the rest of the team at the moment who are stepping up when needed. As said, Zeus went big there. We saw Flamey in the previous round with the AWP stepping up as well. Edward finding a triple kill in the round they did lose. So although he may not be awake in this game, he was definitely there in the first. And, well, we can't expect him to do everything.
Zeus will be placing himself on the top of Suicide Steps. He'll be the main point man, unless they decide to avoid the steps completely. That's not the case, though. They're already pushing towards it. It would be Mouse to look out for that, but it's called off. And now they're going to push out the ramp instead. 4 players pushing from here. They do have some watching for it, but Mihu's going to find the first strike. Able to take down Flamey. Zeus responds, though. Rocker on the corner. He's got the bomb in his hands now. And with this, Guardian peeking back out from the alleyway, shutting down another one. Mihu and Innocent have to fall away. Innocent's got a flank lined up, but they should expect that. Edward's already watching out for one. And Mihu's got to try and impact as he's just lost his teammate.
Yeah, only one going to be available. Guardian again, but Zeus with the big play there. He drops the bomb and it actually falls very favorably into a position where it's basically by his feet. And then he can just wait for the next person, slightly reposition, and pulls off a perfect spray. And again, it seems to be him who's actually stepping up big. He's always a player that a lot of people do, well, question when they do have the problematic circumstances. But he is starting to wake up here on this CT side. And again, Guardian picking up a couple of kills. Of course, he does make those impacts when it's needed. And look at the buy. Just look at the buy.
Yeah, it's not looking great, to say the least, for Ex-CSGL. No armor behind a lot of these upgraded pistols as well. So in theory, it should be easy pickings. There's going to be a waterfall play coming in back over towards drop. Sees with 3, looking for the 4th. He will finally go down to Mihu, but Flamey comes in to support. Takes him back down. And for Maniz, he was the one that was trying to push into the A-bomb site. He does manage to find one Wandig shot, being able to take down Zeus. But now he's got a 1v3. And he doesn't even find a rifle off that either. Just got a measly little MP9.
Yeah, just going to stick with the D because it has much more of a chance of finding one of these players, but they're just holding the angles. That nade is going to do so much damage as well, and Flamey just going to finish him off through the door, and Navi are now back in the lead. And, well, always talk about the T side of this map, but the CTs seem to be pulling it off on both halves at the moment.
Indeed they do. But now it's Dobry's turn to respond to this. It's Dobry's turn to get back into this game, to get back into this tournament. If this continues on for much longer, they're going to find themselves going home in 3rd place.
This was nice control coming out from C's. Just able to find 3 players in a row. The 4th slightly gets away from him, but it does get traded out in the end. And, well, now we do actually see Sparrow back on the AWP. It is glass cannon, so it does have that risk behind it. But, of course, normally if you miss a shot, you get caught anyway, whether you have the armor or not. So the only thing that may worry is the aim punch. But we are going to be seeing AKs, nades, actually quite a lot of utility at the moment for Dobry. So this is one of their big chances. Their big chance to get back into this. And they need some of their stars to step up. We've seen Maniz go very, very quiet. Mao's actually the same. It's mainly been Mihu on this T side.
So for Ex-CSGL, again, holding back, and it pays off to a certain degree. They find Zeus early on and give a little bit of damage to him, but that's nothing really too important, unfortunately, at the end of the day.
It goes back onto Mihu as well, so it's sort of like they're both just trading small amounts of damage. It's not going to be anything that should affect the round too much unless somehow, well, I guess if he hits a dink onto Mihu, then maybe it will make a bit of a difference, but that's about it. Does look like the initial push is now going to be building up over towards that B site. And, well, one player just looking for that look, that's going to be Maniz. And they must be starting to expect this because there's always one player trying to pull in the flank. Mihu going to be pushing. It's going to be Innocent, taken down by Guardian. And he's just holding on this statue position. It's so hard to stop an AWP from this point. Looking for another. He finds himself 3. And these are the rounds that you just remember this guy for. So incredible with the AWP. Maniz will close him down, though. No real support from the rest of his players. And Edward going to be waiting over to the chicken hut, looking for the spray. We've still got the AWP onto Spiro, but it will be Zeus again stepping up to find one more kill. And Spiro, he's got little time. He's got to find one of these kills very quickly. He misses the shot, and Zeus will finish things off once more.
Navi back on the warpath, continuing forward. Just a few rounds left, and they take control of things in map number 2. Give them that spot in the grand final versus Virtus Pro a little bit later on today. For Dobry&Gaming, though, they were off to a hot start here on this map, but things are very, very quickly falling apart.
Yeah, they did start getting rolling. They started very, very well on the CT side, but it looks like they're not having a good time at the moment. And, well, we are going to be seeing another tactical pause. This is a big moment for them. They need... Well, I spoke briefly to Mihu earlier, and he was like, yeah, this is our big opportunity to show ourselves up. Of course, they have come 3rd at least in this tournament, so it is a pretty good showing from them, considering teams like Hellraisers, who are up and coming, are in this. They did manage to beat Navi. They didn't do too well against VP, but they've knocked out some decent teams, and I'd say they probably will get picked up by someone, surely.
I made a tweet the other day. It was somewhat funny because like the whole time they were with CSGL, they like never really did anything that impressive. But then like the first event, literally a week after that their sponsor drops them, it's like, oh, we're just gonna win the event now.
Yeah.
Clearly, the sponsor was the problem.
Yeah. Although I'm pretty sure we're sponsored by them, so let's not go there. We love CSGO Lounge. I don't know what you're talking about, Blue.
It's okay. We're allowed to meme.
But yeah, Tactical Pause coming in, of course. They are on the T side of this map. They've got to start making more of an impact. Guardian has been coming alive a bit with the AWP, but it's been a lot on Zeus as well. Zeus has been pretty solid in the last few rounds. We've seen some rounds come out from Seized as well, but they really are just fighting their way back, and it seems to be every once in a while just an individual steps up. But here we go. Zeus actually playing with the P90, so going to be spraying and praying for a lot of the time. That Molotov's not going to do that much of an impact from Edward, but
Stops a rush.
straight away Seized actually, it's going to be finding an entry. It will actually be mouse to trade, so it is back to a 4 versus 4. Seized picking up that AWP again. Hopefully this time he will have more of an impact, although this round not so much. But Innocent going to be walking in, finding one more. Does seem like they have a lurker as well, and that's going to find a kill as well. That will be Mihu once more playing this role. And now Zeus, well, spray and pray 4 players? No.
Nah. Mal's just going to wreck him. Moves into the alleyway, takes him down. Ex-CSGL keeping this close. Now the pause has worked. They bounce back a little bit here, but the guys from Navi still have a lot of money to buy up.
Well, they actually,
at least
Seized doesn't, because he bought that all.
Yeah,
so
but they can still donate to him. So for at least for this round.
this round they'll be fine. But after this, there's a chance for the T's to crush them here. Of course, don't forget Esports Pool. If you do sign up to them using the Star Ladder code, you will be entered. Sorry, I forgot how to English. And well, into the draw. So why not? Why not play some fantasy esports as well? But here we go, Guardian finding the first, looking for the second, not quite finding it, but he will re-peek, and C's going to find one in the meantime with an M4, not with an AWP this time. We're going to see Zeus pushing as well. He'll find another. He's been the rock of this team so far. And Innocent, well, he's now trapped in a bit of a horrible scenario. He's got the bomb as well, so if he drops here, this is going to be all over. And there we go, Zeus going aggressive, finds one more, and that's going to be it. He finds another. Absolutely superb stuff from him on the CT side.
And now we're going back to the same issues we saw at the beginning of Overpass, where they're just pushing into these sites with no utility or anything. They're trying to compensate for early kills that come out in Navi's favor, and they just cannot do this without proper utility. They need to calm down, stop these aggressive plays. They're not going to beat Navi in these open 1v1s. They need to use the better strats to try and counter them out and find these flanks and whatnot, which they can take them down from, eliminate them one by one, and then eventually take control of the site through that. They're not going to be able to beat them in an open 1v1 duel.
2 rounds away from the final. You can hear the crowd starting to wake up a little bit, the foghorn going off as well. But here we go, a fast play coming in. They're trying to use those Tech 9s up close and personal. Flamey not going to find it. Actually be Edward. Innocent going to find one as well. And this is just a quick bloodbath. There we go, Flamey. Triple kill in the round. 1 tap to finish things. And now it's all down to Mihu, Tech 9. And that's all she wrote. 15-12.
Navi now 1 round away from their spot in the grand finals versus VP. They close out here, it's all done for. But the players from Ex-CSGL not done fighting for their own chance to face off against their Polish brothers as well.
He almost found... Wait, was he on for the ace there? Did that ace actually get ruined just by about 10 HP worth of spray? Oh, that's a shame. Oh well, they're still going to get themselves to the final by the looks of things, because it is only a Tech 9 by now. Auto Sniper coming in onto Edward. We're going to see the AWP. Well, I'm not too mad, because that'll be another match.
Ex-CSGL are going to win this round, though.
I hope so. I like the Polish guys. They're awesome. But Zeus going to be putting a damper on your hopes and dreams as he takes the first kill again. 13-5 in this second half.
Calm down now. It's not
Finds
over
himself
yet.
the second. Looking for more. Zeus has been incredible on this CT side. Just going to fade away now. Not even going to challenge anymore. And, well, leaving this back into a horrible scenario is going to be Flamey to find one more. He stepped up as well. And now it's all down to Innocent and Mihu. Mihu has been arguably their best player on this T side. Wasn't so good on the CT, but he had the rest of his team stepping up. But they have all fallen apart. And you can see, or hear even, I can see, the crowd going absolutely mental, and it's all going to end here. Guardian and Seas finish things off. That's a 2-0. It came very, very close, but they finish it.
And with that, Navi move on to the grand finals. A 2-0 victory for them. Crawling their way back from the depths, they've taken revenge against Dobry&Gaming, who who smited them early on in this event in the very first phase of this double elimination bracket. Navi go down to the lower bracket in the first stage, battle their way all the way through against some of the toughest opponents we had here at this event, and now they find themselves at the very end of it, once again with another title possibly on the line.
Maybe they just wanted a storyline. Okay, we go into the lower bracket, we fight all the way back, we're back in the final against, well, the team who you would say are second to them in the seedings, probably, although Hellraiser's on the rise, as said. Virtus Pro going to be facing off against Navi, and this is going to be, well, the Titans facing off against each other. But after the performances we've seen in the last few days from Navi, I think they are now the favorites to take this once more.
And in that second map, it really just wasn't a one-man show coming out from Guardian. Some of the big guys now still stepping things up. Zeus, most notably for me. Edward having some hot plays as well.
And
so
Flamey as well.
Yep, everybody looking to be in good shape right now for the guys on Navi. Definitely warmed up a lot more since those first games earlier on in the bracket, and that will definitely make them a force to be reckoned with when we do get to the grand final a little bit later on today.
Yeah, I do feel like, though, they still are a little bit skeptical on Cobblestone. It looked like their T side has just completely changed, but now they're taking it on the CT instead.
In all reality, on both maps, there's still, I mean, in all their maps, there's still a bit of shakiness coming out from these guys because they're just struggling to like close out the maps.
Yeah.
As we've saw, there's been like 3 or 4 almost incredible comebacks from their opposing team now in the past 2 sets they played in, but they managed to come out on top of both of them. Now the real test though is coming up versus Virtus Pro. To talk about that though, we're going to throw things back to the analysis desk. Let's go back to them.
And there we go. Navi move on to play VP in the grand final. A respectable 3rd place for Dobry. Could they have expected more? Could they have changed what they did to maybe change their fate?
They probably couldn't. I mean, at the end of the day, they took down Navi once, and that's really a great achievement. But that's the kind of beauty and the sad face of this kind of double elimination break, that even though you actually kind of eliminate the best team by sending them to the lower bracket, they might just bounce back all the way, because had this been under different circumstances, Navi would have been out of the tournament, and all of a sudden Dobry&Gaming might have had a different chance of reaching a better placement.
The thing with double elimination best of 3 is if you look at the bracket and look at who we have in the end of the day in the finals,
it's the
world rankings and the bracket actually do agree together on the fact that we have the teams that are meant to be in the finals, and that makes for a good one. But kudos to CSGL, obviously, for just a great tournament, obviously. Winning both Godson and Navi in a best-of-3 series is just not an easy feat. And they've definitely shown to the world that they can compete, but just lack of consistency, things like we've been talking about the fact that their individuals need to be hitting that ceiling of their skill level day in, day out, and it's super hard. But Spiro, Innocent, I thought they were the 2, I guess, big hitters of the team for this tournament, and the catalyst for them to having this performance.
Unfortunately, Innocent cooled down a bit in this series.
Yeah.
Throughout the rest of the tournament, Innocent was firing off. Just now, when it was like the ultimate moment, when it mattered the most, so to speak, it just didn't go his way. But we all know that can happen with Counter-Strike. It was Maniz in this series that really stood out in terms of the kills. And then on the Navi side of things, it was Guardian leading the charge, and Flamey as well.
Yeah, it was Guardian helping out Navi tremendously, especially. We thought 5 rounds on the T side. I even called out idiots when CSGL went for the CT side, but obviously that was genius. But yeah, Guardian just hitting a lot of nice shots, and basically when the pressure was on from CSGL, he managed to be the last Great Wall of China to prevent them from getting the rounds.
Were you guys all as surprised as me that Dobry did manage to get 10 CT rounds? It's what we said. We said they needed to do a lot of work on the CT side. They needed to stuff that famous T side on Cobble of Navi.
I'm going to be honest with you. If you get 10 rounds of CT and Cobble, you are supposed to win the map.
Oh, yeah,
you really are. I mean, taking into consideration the tactical opportunities you have as a series, the kind of splitting bump sides abilities, etc., you need to be able to string some rounds together, because the CTs are vulnerable and they are able to get locked down. And actually a really sick piss round by Innocent.
Yeah. Innocent's the man. Pablo's a great guy, and it's nice to see him do these big plays.
Yeah, I mean, while these replays are just showing, actually, if I remember correctly, right, yeah, Navi win this round. So getting 10 rounds as CT when you win the pistol and then lose the second round, it's literally insane. I mean, at that point, you really had a really good CT half, and obviously, it doesn't just come down to the tactical aspect when you get 10 rounds of CT. It also comes down to hitting a quite high individual level. So by that means, it's quite surprising that they can't finish it off as a terrorist.
No, I definitely agree. Because yeah, especially on the individual part, you kind of would have assumed that if anything's going to work for them strategically, it would have to be on the T side. But having gone through the CT side already, actually flourishing, then that should be a pretty good indicator that they're on point.
Those are a couple of great examples of the slight disconnection between the Ex-CSGL players, where they kind of just went to the crosshairs of their opponents a little bit too individually. So the possibility for a trade kill wasn't there.
At the same time,
Zeus getting those kills when they were coming up on slope, and then you saw the drop room as well. Similar situation there.
At the same time, it's a good illustration of your point about controlling drop room, and he was doing a great job there. Unfortunately for Dobry, it was, again, meaning that they got absolutely slaughtered coming into that drop room. Map's best players there on screen. Flamey was the one out front. Mouse managed to have a pretty good series in terms of, map in terms of kills, and Guardian as well. Equal to Zeus. Entry kills, very even across the board. 4-4, 4-4-4.
Everybody's getting in it. Obviously, some of these are eco frags.
Yeah,
Of course.
Yeah,
And we
keep that in mind.
We're not sure exactly what the entry kill criteria is for this, if it's just the first kill in the round or necessarily going onto a bomb site. So we can't look into that too much, because entry kills, if executed correct, at least in my mind, I consider an entry kill when you're actually creating entry onto a site as opposed to just the first kill in the round. What do you guys think?
I mean, it can be both. I mean, you could also just call it the opening kill, right?
Yes,
or something,
exactly.
But I mean, as Salvo pretty much said, sometimes it can be a Mag 10 guy just running around in anti-eco and getting entry, and other times it might be, yeah, exactly like that, Pala. Yeah. And other times it might be when you're actually executing onto a bomb site in a weapon round. I mean, in that scenario, a entry kill or opening kill, call it whatever you want, is fairly more important than a Mag 10 running around farming money. So I mean, again, that's when we talk about stats. They don't always show or paint the correct picture, but I mean, I guess they are decent for something anyways.
Yeah, no, I guess they're nice to have.
Yeah, exactly. Just nice to have.
Pretty much what No, but all in all, it's not like Dobry leave this tournament with their heads hung low or anything like that. It's been the best tournament they've ever had at an offline stage, at least outside of Poland. So this has to be a major boost for them. They're currently looking for a new home, to put it that way, and obviously this won't hurt the process.
This is one of the things also, like when you're looking for an organization and you have offers, sometimes you wait too long and you have like bad results, and this is gonna hurt your negotiation abilities. But in a situation like this, when you actually manage to have a really good event by not having your team on any other organization, etc., this is really gonna be able to make them get a higher salary, make them get into a better organization, these kind of things. So it's definitely one of the right times to peak.
Are there any rounds you'd like to highlight, or any kind of closing comments? Because we're pretty much done here for now, and if not, we can look at the bracket and then go through some other stuff.
Yeah, I think bracket and
okay, fantastic.
ready for the finals.
Let's get the bracket up on screen. I'll give a rundown of exactly where we are in the tournament. There we go. The final has been made. It's VP versus Navi. VP got there through winning all of their matches. Worst players, Hellraisers, and then Dobry. Dobry, after losing to VP, dropped down. Navi lost to Dobry initially and then had to beat Flipside and then HR, and then they beat Godsent yesterday. And yeah, then they faced off against Dobry just now. And as we've, of course, seen, Navi beat them. And that takes us to the final, which will be happening later today. We'll be back here at 7 p.m. our time, which will be 6 p.m. CEST time, And so just make sure you are back here. Any final comments from you guys? Anything you want to say to the audience?
We're obviously not going to give any predictions or
Not
any
right
hints
now.
about the final because we want you guys to come back for the right moment. So
Indeed.
keeping it cool, boys.
No, it's going to be a cool one. Obviously, I guess it's something we expected to from this tournament, that might be these two teams, and Navi losing in the first round and then grinding through the lower bracket, basically beating all the teams that you'd expect to be the toughest competition in the tournament. So they got to definitely prove themselves that, well, even though we expected them to be the finalists, they are in the world rankings the best team in this tournament. They definitely are worthy of that position. Now it's going to be interesting to see how Virtus Pro is going to be able to answer to the challenge that Navi is throwing at them.
It's the final that we all predicted right at the start. It's going to be VP versus Navi. Big shout out to our sponsors once again before we part for a few hours. We are the esports pool analyst desk, csgofast.com if you'd like skins, live cap if you saw any cool stuff, go and cap it, Twitch TV for hosting us, G2A for games, and egb.com. If you'd like to place any bets, you've got one more match to do it today. Huge shout out also to Tom and Blue. They are finished for the week, essentially, and they did a fantastic job of casting. Later, we will be joined by Henry G and Sadakist. They'll be casting the final. Make sure you are back here at 6 p.m. CEST or 7 p.m. current local time in Ukraine. Thank you, and we will see you then.